Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror film named Oxhead Village. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with three girls live streaming their adventure. This time, they come to the most haunted place, a hot spring inn. One of the girls is too shy to show her face, so her friends put an Oxhead mask on her and start the live stream. The comments in the live stream mention some real-life legends about this place. When the girls arrive at the elevator, one of them introduces the legend that the elevator is connected to another world. After finishing, she pushes the girl wearing the Oxhead mask into the elevator and closes the door, hoping to go viral with this stunt. The girl with the mask keeps knocking on the door, but her friends don't open it. She tries to take off the mask, but accidentally touches a hand hanging above her head. Before she can react, a pair of hands emerge from below, firmly gripping her sexy body. The girl tries to save her sexy life and scratches the hand on her head in panic. At this moment, her friends outside hear the scream and quickly open the door, only to see the elevator with the masked girl plummeting. In an instant, the masked girl notices that the person pulling her is an Oxhead figure. The elevator crashes into pieces, but there's no sign of the masked girl in the wreckage, only the Oxhead mask remains. Later, the scene shifts to a nearby city and the protagonist, Kanon, makes her appearance. Her mother passed away when she was young, and she has lived with her father ever since. One day during dinner, her father receives a mysterious phone call and goes inside the house. Later, Kanon returns to her room, and it's shown that she had been wearing a bandage on her hand. Unexpectedly, when she unwraps it, the scratches on the bandage are identical to those left by the masked girl on the ghost hand from earlier. After a while, Kanon's father finished his phone call and came out, vaguely telling her that he had to go on a long journey. Without giving it much thought, Kanon went to work as usual the next day. At that moment, a boy named Ren, who had a crush on her, suddenly appeared. It turned out that the ghostly event from the live stream of the three girls at the beginning had spread like wildfire online. Ren had discovered that the missing masked girl looked identical to Kanon. Moreover, strange things began happening that very night. While Kanon was alone at home, the masked girl suddenly appeared behind her, wearing tattered clothes and grabbing Kanon's injured hand. At that instant, fragmented memories flooded into her mind. Kanon realized that this person might have an important connection to her, so in order to figure it out, she took Ren with her to the hot spring inn. On the way, Ren fell asleep. A boy was seen on this bus. Kanon joked with him, but when she covered her big mouth to laugh, another ghost hand emerged. The boy sensed something strange and shrank back into his mother's arms, refusing to interact with her. Kanon hadn't figured out what was going on when she saw her reflection in the window moving on its own, silently glancing at her. Upon arriving in the town, they happened to witness a mirage. Kanon looked closely and saw villagers standing in pairs under the illusion, which was very eerie. At that time, the two met a driver. Upon learning that they were going to the hot spring inn, the driver became interested and decided to give them a ride. On the way to their destination, they passed through a tunnel. The driver mentioned that this tunnel was rumored to be haunted and was related to the Oxhead legend. He said that the story was said to be terrifying, but no one knew the specifics because everyone who had heard it had died. The tunnel was originally meant to house a shrine, with the Oxhead statue as its centerpiece. After finishing, the driver joked that he doubted the story. They were momentarily distracted due to the chatting when, upon exiting the tunnel, a girl in the pink dress suddenly appeared in front of the car. From her clothing, it was clear that she was one of the three members from the live streaming team at the beginning. After the girl was hit and sent flying like an adult toy, the three of them were shocked and quickly got out of the car to check on her. However, the mysterious girl had vanished into thin air without leaving any trace of her body or blood. They got back in the car, puzzled, and continued on their way without noticing a pile of offerings by the roadside, seemingly confirming that the girl in the pink dress had already died. Upon arriving at the hot spring inn, they began to split up. The driver waited downstairs and suddenly heard something had fallen into a nearby puddle. He looked closely and saw the reflection of a scene from upstairs, a girl standing on the roof, leaping off and crashing into a pool of blood. The bloody scene repeated itself, and the driver was startled to notice that there was no actual girl falling in reality. Meanwhile, Kanon and Ren had already entered the building. Kanon found the elevator where the incident from the live stream occurred. Upon touching it, she instantly saw the scene from when it happened. As if it were all connected, Kanon involuntarily drew a childlike picture of a small flower and a butterfly. However, she discovered that another butterfly had appeared next to the flower, and the reflection in the glass had transformed into the masked girl. Sensing something creepy, the two of them ran out, but they didn't find the masked girl on this trip. Meanwhile, the driver checked the live stream team's photo and recognized that they were wearing the uniforms of the same school as he graduated from. So Kanon and Ren set off to the driver's school. Here, the illusion of the masked girl turned into a bizarre mirage. This time, apart from Kanon, another person saw the illusion. It's the boyfriend of the masked girl. They met by chance, and from boyfriend, they learned that the masked girl had gone missing since the live stream incident, and the other two girls who had been live streaming with her had died in succession, one in a car accident and the other by jumping off a building. This meant that the girl who disappeared after being hit by the car and the girl who kept jumping off the building were the live streaming companions of the masked girl. It seems that their souls were trapped in the same spot, constantly reliving the moment of their deaths. Boyfriend was surprised to see that Kanon looked so much like his girlfriend, the masked girl, and agreed to take them to meet the masked girl's mother. Unexpectedly, when they arrived and opened the door, Kanon's father was also there. Apparently, the masked girl was actually Kanon's twin sister. Those fragmented memories of Kanon, including the drawing of the butterfly and the flower, were actually their shared childhood memories. It turned out that their mother hadn't died, and their parents were still very much in love. But weirdly enough, the parents lived separately and raised the two sisters separately. This time, their father came over to check the masked girl after he learned that she had encountered trouble. Kanon was puzzled and felt that there were many things she couldn't remember. That night, Kanon stayed at her mother's place and felt her sister leaning against her. However, when she removed her sister's hood, she saw an unfamiliar woman. Through the woman's resentful eyes, Kanon witnessed a horrifying past from her grandma's generation. Back then, the area of the hot spring inn was a village called Oxhead Village, where Kanon's ancestors lived. Kanon's grandma also had a twin sister named Lin. Due to the ignorance of that time, twins were seen as unwanted children. The belief was that if a family had twins, they would be protected by the gods until they reached the age of 7. However, once they turned 7, one of the twins had to be offered to the Oxhead god. The so-called offering to the god actually meant killing one of the twins. The children were given masks during the sacrificial process to avoid seeing the face of the child being killed. The ancestor had initially decided to sacrifice Kanon's grandma. On the day of the ceremony, they gave the young grandma a sleeping potion and put an Oxhead mask on her, waiting for the sacrificial procession to arrive. Unexpectedly, the naughty Lin woke up, not understanding what was happening, and put her sister's mask on herself. Just then, the procession arrived and took Lin as the sacrifice, throwing her into a deep well, which is now the hot spring inn. By the time everyone realized the mistake, it was too late, and Kanon's grandma survived while Lin died. The story of the Oxhead is not just a legend, but a hidden history. However, Lin was only 7 years old when she was thrown into the well, but the ghost that Kanon saw appeared to be an adult. With this doubt, Kanon went to see her grandmother, and the father finally revealed the truth behind their separation. When Kanon and her sister were around 4 years old, Kanon encountered danger outside and disappeared. Her sister eventually found her, using their twin telepathy. However, Kanon had lost her memory and claimed that Lin had saved her. The parents realized that Lin's resentful spirit had come looking for them. Fearing that Lin would take Kanon away, they decided to let her father take her away to live in another place. Unexpectedly, it was her sister, the masked girl, who ended up in trouble. In fact, the hand above her head at that time belonged to Kanon, which explains why her hand got injured from the scratches. Afterward, the driver said he had heard of Oxhead Village. As he stepped off the elevator, he discovered that his reflection had turned into that of an Oxhead figure. Ren also saw the illusion. Countless hands of sacrificed individuals reached out from the elevator gap, causing the elevator to crash down and cut the driver in half. Witnessing all this, Ren collapsed in fear. He bid farewell to the others and chose to return alone. However, on the bus back, his reflection also turned into an Oxhead figure. Realizing something was wrong, Ren looked around and saw the bus was full of twin villagers. Their hands quickly engulfed him. Soon after, Kanon received a notice to identify his body. In Ren's hand was an Oxhead statue from Oxhead Village, tied with a red string from Kanon's sister's clothes. Kanon and boyfriend rushed to see her grandma. Holding the statue, the grandma sang an old nursery rhyme. A few seconds later, she exclaimed that Lin hadn't died when she fell into the deep well. As everyone was shocked, the grandma suddenly grabbed Kanon's hand, and boyfriend tried to release her, but was pushed into another world with her. When they woke up, they seemed to have returned to the past Oxhead village, trapped in the deep well. As the grandma had said, Lin didn't die when she fell into the well. She survived by eating the bones of corpses in the well, and grew to the young woman that Kanon saw earlier. Later, villagers came to check the well when they heard noises, but when Lin called for help, they thought she was a ghost and beat her severely, leaving her on the brink of death. Both Kanon and boyfriend were shocked by the revelation. It was then that they discovered Kanon's sister, who was still alive. She seemed to have fallen directly from the elevator into the deep well, so they quickly helped her escape. Lin didn't initially want to kill the sisters, as they were relatives, and she had saved Kanon when they were young. However, when they tried to escape without her, she followed, seemingly wanting to take the sister away. Boyfriend quickly locked Lin back, and they apologized while fleeing. They arrived in the village, but were soon surrounded by a group of villagers. Numerous children with masks appeared, turning into people like the villagers. It turns out, these were the twins who had been harmed and offered as sacrifices to the Oxhead god. The group continued to flee and eventually reached a cliff at the edge of the village. With nowhere to go, Kanon's sister began to convulse, and many baby faces appeared beneath her skin, as if numerous resentful spirits were about to break through. In the end, she screamed and transformed into Lin's appearance. However, her sister was still barely controlling her own body. As she struggled towards the cliff, she urged Kanon and boyfriend to escape. At the last moment, Kanon smiled and hugged her sister, saying how pitiful she was to be alone, and jumped off the cliff together with her. Seeing this, boyfriend also jumped off the cliff. Perhaps their companionship and sacrifice moved Lin, who ultimately spared the three of them and sent them back to the original elevator. Just when we thought the two sisters were saved, an unexpected twist appeared at the end. After some time, the mother and sister returned the Oxhead statue to its original owner. The sister then received a call from Kanon, telling her that it's so lonely and pitiful. She then turned her head and transformed into Lin's appearance. It seems that her sister had still been possessed by Lin. What's more terrifying, the line Kanon said on the phone was the same as when she jumped off the cliff. Considering the situation where the two live-streaming girls died and got trapped in a loop, it possibly means that the three of them had actually died and were also trapped in the loop. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.